This story is dedicated to Felice Yeskel, whose memory is a blessing. The Jews of Greenfield and the Jews of Amherst were as different as day and night. Up here in Greenfield, we're simple folk, close to the earth. We like to plant greens in the early spring, enjoy blueberries at the height of summer, eat apple pie for breakfast at the harvest festival, Sukkot often with apples from our own trees. But down in Amherst, where 9 out of 10 people are scholars at the university, it's no different with the Jewish community either. And this story is about one such scholar. His name? Baruch. Now, Baruch, he taught Talmud 101, 8 a.m. The students were not busting down his doors. I mean, it wasn't one of the sexy classes, like crop management. And it was 1911 after all. So when his uncle Itchele wrote him a note saying Greenfield has a new rabbi, and he said, this rabbi, he's such a person. And he has a library too. That's what caught Baruch's attention. And sure enough, before the new year started, well, for Baruch, it was the end of the summer semester. It's a Jewish story, before Rosh Hashanah. He made his way up to Greenfield. He walked. He likes his path up Mount Sugarloaf, crossed the Pecumtuck Ridge, down into Greenfield. He went right to the library, and he was impressed. Not only were there volumes of Talmud and Midrash, but there were biblical commentaries from Rashi and Ibn Ezra too, and the whole Zohar, Judaism's main mystical text, and other books by Moshe Cordovero and Yitzchak Luria, and other authors that Baruch had never even heard of. Who was this rabbi? Well, he asked the Shamash. He's the one who cares for the building itself, saying, "Where is the rabbi?" And the Shamash answered, "The Rebbe? Where else would he be on these days before the new year? The Rebbe is in the heavenly realms, making sure all of the good deeds from us down here in Greenfield, they're not forgotten." Well, Baruch, he had a pocket full of skepticism. He rolled his eyes. He said, "Heavenly realms, heavenly realms." And then he pulled down one of the volumes of Talmud. He opened it up and he said, "Look right here. Look right. It says here, Moshe Rabbeinu, Moses, our greatest teacher. Moses never got closer than 2.5 steps to heaven. And you're saying your rabbi, the Rebbe, is there right now? Well, where else would he be? I don't know, and I don't care. If there's one thing a scholar likes more than anything else, is to know something that others don't know." So Baruch, he created a plan. Here's what he did. He actually snuck into the rabbi's house and hid under his bed. He was going to wait and see for himself. Late that night, the rabbi comes into his home, into the bedroom, sits on the bed with a groan. Baruch, he's peeking up from under the blankets, and his eyes go wide because he sees these boots. These beautiful boots with this lower sole and the stitching that keeps it to the upper sole, all like seamless, like one piece of leather. And then the rabbi begins his slichot prayers, his prayers of reflection. Ay, 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 ay. Ay, 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 ay. And that's when Baruch begins to quiver like a fish. I mean, what's he doing? After all, he's spying on the Greenfield Rebbe underneath his bed the days before the new year. Well, soon he took a breath and he hardened his heart. And he told himself, research is research, and he must find the answer. He stayed awake, repeating the verses and verses of Talmud he had memorized. And it was a good thing, too, because the rabbi, he got up early the next morning, before the sun had even rose. He got up, he pulled on some canvas pants and a strong, sturdy linen shirt, put on those work boots, grabbed a length of rope around his shoulder, and a hatchet he put into his belt buckle, and he left. Baruch followed from a distance, and he watched. And where did he go? The Highland Park. And he went and he began collecting wood, like all the branches, and he made a big pile of wood. He used the hatchet to shape it, and he tied it up with the rope, and he turned, and he heaved it onto his back, and he walked into Greenfield. And he went up to Federal Street, and right there, the first house, he knocked on the door. Baruch could hear an old woman answer. Who is it? It is I, Ivan, the wood chopper. I have wood for sale, just 1 penny. Oh, I am cold, but I cannot afford any wood. My dear woman, you believe in the goodness of this world, yes? Well, when you get a penny in the future, you give it to the next wood chopper that comes. And then we'll be, how do they say it here in America? We'll be even Steven. Oh, aren't you a nice man? But I'm too sick, I can't get out of bed to make the fire. Do not worry. It's included in the price of the 1 penny. And with that, the rabbi entered her home, went to the fireplace, opened up that wood stove, and started kindling a fire. And he began his slichot prayers, his prayers of reflection. Oy, 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 oy. Oy, oy, oy. Oy, 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 oy. And that flame was getting higher. And when Baruch realized what was happening, he couldn't control himself. He leapt up from underneath that window and he joined in. And together they sang. And it's right then that Baruch, he became a student of the Greenfield Rebbe. In fact, he moved his whole family from Amherst up to Greenfield. Now, he was adjunct after all. He didn't have a lot of money, but he got the smallest house in town. Actually, it was a sugar shack, but that's another story. And from that time on, in all those days before the new year, whenever anyone would say, "Where's the rabbi?" and someone was there, would say, the Rebbe. The Rebbe's in the heavenly realms. Baruch, he was always there to add, yes, my friends, the Rebbe is in the heavenly realms, and maybe even higher. Thank you.